This video will help you work with general, contact and item preferences in Kanak Books. Click the gear icon from the navigation bar and select Preferences. It will take you to the General Preferences screen by default. Uncheck the checkboxes to disable the modules listed. Click the Save button to save the preferences. Now when you move back to the home screen, the disabled modules will not be displayed. There is no option to create a new bill of supply as we have hidden it in Preferences. Let's enable bill of supply, estimates, sales orders, delivery challans, purchase orders and point of sale. Now, you will be able to view the selected modules. Check the given checkbox to skip draft status while saving sales or purchase transactions. Let's create an invoice and see how the preference works. When you save the invoice, it will automatically be saved to the next state other than draft. You can see that the status of the invoice is sent. You can also enable additional charges, like shipment charges and adjustments against sales or purchase transactions. Let's move to the invoice form. In the total section below, you will be able to see two new fields for entering shipment charges and adjustments. Let's add an item to the item table. When you enter value to shipment charges or adjustments, it will add it to the total of the invoice. The fields will be displayed in the PDF too. You can also select the first day of your work week. This selection will then be used to display reports for different periods. When discount preference is set to no discounts, you won't be able to apply any discounts to sales or purchase transactions. Let's update the preference to item level discounts. This will let you add discounts for individual items in a sales or purchase transaction. You can see that the discount column is now enabled for the invoices item table. You can also set discount preference to transaction level. Let's apply the discount before tax. Let's create an invoice to see it's working. The discount column is now hidden as it is applied on the whole transaction. The discount field will be displayed in the total section. Notice that the field is shown before tax distribution as discount is applied on the transaction before tax. Let's update the preference to apply discount after tax. Notice that the field is shown after tax distribution as discount is applied on the transaction after tax. Set the item rates to tax inclusive and save. When you set the rate of items to tax inclusive, the whole sales or purchase transaction will consider the item rate in total as tax inclusive. Now set the item rates to tax exclusive. When you set the rate of items to tax exclusive, tax on items will be added to the total. See the difference in subtotal and total. Let's set the preference to tax inclusive or exclusive. Now, you will be able to switch between inclusive or exclusive taxes using the selector. Check the given checkbox to round off sales transactions to nearest whole number. When a decimal point number is entered as adjustment, you can see the round off getting applied on total. Enter text in WhatsApp message body and email message body boxes to pre-fill WhatsApp and email message bodies throughout the application. When you open a sales or purchase transaction for sharing via WhatsApp, the message body will be pre-filled from the preference. The same happens when you open the email editor. Select Contacts option from the drawer to view contact-based preferences. We have allowed duplicate contact display names. This will let us add contacts with the same names. Let's also enable credit limit. When credit limit is enabled, you can either show a warning pop-up or completely restrict the user from creating invoices when the limit is exceeded. Let's restrict the user and save the preference. Let's see an example. Let's create a new customer with display name KCA. Let's set the customer's credit limit to 25,000. You can see that there are two customers with same name. Now, let's create an invoice for the customer. You can see that the total amount of the invoice is more than 25,000. When you hit the Save button, an error will be shown stating that the credit limit was exceeded. Now let's update the preference to remove the restriction and show only a warning pop-up. When you save the invoice, a warning pop-up will be displayed stating that the customer's credit limit will be exceeded. When you hit the OK button, the invoice will be created. Let's update the preference to disallow duplicate contacts. Now, when you create a contact with the same name, an error will be displayed. Select Items option to move to Item Preferences screen. When you have Price List disabled, it will not be shown in the home screen. Let's go back and enable it. Since inventory tracking is disabled, you will not be able to create an item with inventory tracking activated. Let's go back and enable inventory tracking. Now, you can see the option to track inventory in the item form. When the checkbox to allow stock to go less than 0 is checked, you will be allowed to have negative stocks. Let's open an inventory cotton fabric for viewing. You can see that the current stock is 97. Let's create an invoice with the same inventory. Let's edit the quantity to 100. Save the invoice. Now when you open the inventory, the stock is negative. Let's delete that invoice for the time being. Update the preference to show a warning when the stock of an inventory drops below zero. Now, a warning pop-up stating that the stock will drop below zero will be displayed to the user on saving the invoice. You can enable HSN or SAC codes for items and make it mandatory to provide either a 4-digit or 6-digit code. Now when you create an invoice, an error will be displayed if you have not provided HSN or SAC codes for items in the invoice. Let's provide a 2-digit HSN code first. When you hit the Save button, the application will force you to provide at least a 4-digit HSN code, as per the saved preference. Now you will be able to create the invoice.